Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft Resonant Rise. I'm your host and creator of the Resonant Rise mod pack, Kieran Dave. And wow, I gotta tell you, last week was a busy week. I had some extra time to record because in America it was Thanksgiving week, and so we got a lot done. I mean, a lot done, right? In fact, I was looking at the plans for winning, and we got everything we said we were going to get done. I got the Magitech tools, the storage power, cart inventory, rails, derailing, mining. That's all stuff. That stuff all works, and I've run it for a long time. If you'd like to see the progress, by the way, thanks to everybody who helped me out in the comments with all sorts of interesting details. I pretty much got the system working almost flawlessly. There's one bug I'm just kind of too lazy to fix, but once I fix that, it'll be pretty much perfect in practically every way. Yes, but you can see right now it's idle because I have enough stuff. Got my little forceuflage going on there, and kind of cool actually that now it has this interesting texture. I don't know if I like that or not. Kind of glitchy actually. I wonder what's up, but. Yeah, so let's see if we can maybe get this out. So I've been working with more of my Darkcraft. So now we have a rod of vision. Night vision. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay, so you can see my cart has just torn up my mind, right? This is ridiculous. It's, whoa, never mind me. Yeah, you can see this is some major progress into the world. In several places it just ran out of track and, oh, bother. Let's see, how about if we were to pull out this spell? This is a pretty cool spell. I'm pretty happy about it. Ow. Oh, they're fighting each other. That's adorable. Oh, look at these two. Wait, what? Why am I on fire? So, by the way, this is the Sigil of Elemental Affinity that I have here. And this is my awesome thing from Blood Magic, because I've been working a bunch on it on the downtime. Phew! Phew! Oh, we can cast this at a higher mode now that I'm a higher level mage. Yeah. Yeah. Is that really an enchanted bow? No, someone has an enchanted bow. Nope. But yeah, so I've been working on actually my Dartcraft and my all sorts of things really. But in the meantime, I've just been having this guy just run continuously. It's fantastic. So yes, huge success, as you can see, just has torn up the landscape in a way unlike any other mining system that you could name. There are better miners, but well, it really depends what you're doing. This is a pretty good miner, as you can see. Let's see, how do we even get, there we go. There's the way out. So we'll definitely keep running this some more, but for right now I'm pretty good on resources, and unfortunately we don't encounter coal at this depth with this version of the ore gen, so I'm going to have to kind of set up a separate system to feed it coal for now. But yeah, you can see we have the output. There were no real changes except to the addition of an extra furnace to smelt smooth stone so that we could have automatic creation of bridging material. So yeah, works great. But let's talk about our, well, first, let's ride our little attraction here. Oh, the many pleasures of being a techno mage. Whee! I love how it just barely, and then it just completely tears right through. That's fantastic. Physics. Let's take a look at what we're looking at right here, or take a look at what we're looking at. Come on, Dave. You can do better than that. Everybody expects it. So, the things I'd like to work on next is a couple things, but most importantly, oh, I can turn this off. Most importantly, these bound tools. I also need to do some wood farm because I'm really tired of running around cutting down trees like a chump, like a savage. And that could probably feed into renewable power, so I figured we toss that there. We also need steel. I really do want to get some of Mechanism's new pipes in my builds. They're really cool. In fact, in some ways, they're cooler than other stuff. Like they have more actual potential, I think, than the thermal expansion pipes. Both are really good. But oh, by the way, I've been quietly improving my Ars infrastructure. These light energy calefactors, so that's using my light nexus directly upstairs. This guy actually doubles food, which is really funny. Did you know this? A calefactor is incredibly easy to make. It's very, very inexpensive in early game. Just some Vintium dust, right? But you can be cooking things pretty quickly. It goes very slow, but if you can make a light nexus, which is just one trip to the nether, you can start to basically produce Vintium dust and double your food, which is pretty useful for folks who like factorization, because you can turn food into power now. But also check this out. Oh, what is this? Look at it as I get closer, the particle effects. Oh, the sparkles. What the heck is that? Huh? Let me show you. First, I'm going to turn on my Sigil of Elemental Affinity. I got it by blood magic, by infusing some things and making some things. And it makes me immune to fire, drowning, and falling. So I can just now go, hooey, right? And then, whoa, no problem. Don't even care. But up here, this is my first Skyland. And up here I have a tier 3 blood magic altar, which you can see I've got my tier 3 orb here, which I'll just pull out for reference. And Magician's Blood Orb, which you make by infusing a block of gold in a tier 3 altar. And this is max Rune of Self-Sacrifice. It took me about an hour and 45 minutes of sitting around shepherding a continuously running process of a stack of stone in these to get to where I needed to. I'm going to need to do that again soon. But now, when I infuse the altar, this is really cool. Let me first stop draining blood from my network. And then let me pull out my magic pack, my divination sigil. This should have, not quite, so 6,200. Oh no, poor Sam skill. If we were to go ahead and use a little bit of self-sacrifice at this altar with all these runes, right? So we have 6,200, tap, then we see we have 6,960. So that's fantastic, right? That's fully 760 per heart, which is just a massive amount now, which means it's much, much easier. In addition, I also went and improved my Ars spell and added just a healing, this spell, Deathless, let's see, which is just healing and regeneration in one. In addition to that, let's see, let's turn this back on. In addition to that, Sace, I'll show you, Sace made a nice beacon for us back at spawn. And then as you can see, there's Bevo Spawner and a couple of things. But here's the other thing I made that I'm really happy about. This Rune of the Bridge. Oh, look at this. So I'm walking on this is a sigil of the Phantom Bridge, right? When you activate it, it spawns in these phantom blocks. Now, even cooler than that, when you spawn them in, right, you can go like this. Tap, and you can actually place them. It'll replace the block. And if I were to stand on this and then turn off, all these other bridge blocks would begin to despawn. How cool is that? This is incredibly useful in a variety of situations. It is a builder's paradise. It is a fantastic way to walk around the Nether. Fighting ghasts couldn't be easier because if you can just get underneath them, then you can completely pin them down and make sure to get their drops even without a magnet. But yeah, and as you can see over here, and I'm immune to fall damage because of my Sigil of Elemental Affinity, Sace made this awesome beacon for us, which, no, not what I wanted to do. You can see from my NEI tooltip is a block of solid ender from Tinker's Construct, which is a pretty cool thing. And then, because they're valid pyramid blocks, we have all these amazing things set up on ourselves. So we're actually really quite strong. It's pretty cool, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how that's all come up. And you can see I have continuous haste and regeneration around most of my base. Unfortunately, it reaches a long ways, but not quite far enough to reach that Skyland. But you know, still, I'm happy to have it. But I wanted to get started on the next thing, which is bound tools. Oh, did I mention I used extra utilities to the pencil to make an invisible bridge with guide lights made by Nightor? I think that's really fun. I'm going to make more of these, and we'll do those in a minute, but I did think that was fun to share. But yeah, let's go ahead and recharge, and let's look into what we need to do to make, we need to make ourselves a set of bound tools. Now, I'm going to do a little experiment in editing here. I'm going to overlay an image of what the actual ritual should look like here. Now, what it should look like basically is this kind of interesting magical circle, and we're going to need a whole bunch of runes to make this and some inscription tools. Why don't we go ahead and get those inscription tools ready? Let me go grab stuff from my AE system. And don't worry if that went by too fast, you'll see it in more detail as we build it. Alright folks, while that zombie fools around, quit screwing around down there. Yeah. We're ready to start infusing and making all the things we need to do some actual blood magic rituals. Now, there's some simple rituals which are called imperfect rituals or lesser rituals. They're actually really good, some of them, depending on what you need, but we're not going to mess with those. We're going to go straight to making the greater ritual tools. And one of the first things we're going to need is to take one of our lava crystals. And you remember, I've made like 5 of these now, so I have them to spare, and we just start infusing it. You may also notice that I have put some speed runes on this just to make this process go a little bit faster, because oh boy, am I going to be hard pressed to do what I have to do next. You'll see in just a second. But the first thing we need to do is get, there we go. You can see that happens pretty fast now. We get a weak activation crystal. Now this is basically for all the rituals. It says low level rituals, but basically it's everything but the weakest rituals. We need this tool to catalyze them and basically start them off. It's a connection to our network. You can see that if I, you can see it once I right click it, I own it. And now I have, it is linked to my network, which by the way, jumps up to a nice 150,000 maximum. We'll make it bigger soon, but that's enough for now. The next thing we need to do is make the, well, we need to make our ritual stones. Our ritual stones. These are kind of expensive to make. We need a lot of obsidian and a lot of reinforced slates. These things you have to basically infuse stone to make slabs or regular slates, and then infuse it again. I think it's like 5,000 LP, so it's really a lot, which is why I put the speed runes on. And then we need to get 4 more again to make the master ritual stone, which is the center of everything. Before I sit down to make those, we also need to make one other thing. Way really wants to make sure that these are challenging and feel like a big deal to perform. So we have to make ritual ink. Let's start by infusing magma cream, and this will make us one of the 5 inks. See, that went pretty fast. Fire ink. Yes, this is one of the elemental inscription tools. We'll make more. We need to use a gas tier, probably the most difficult of the bunch, of that we can make in a tier 3 altar. There is one more in a tier 4 altar, but fortunately they're pretty cheap on the LP. Mostly it's just there for a material requirement. Next one is a lapis block. So we have fire, air, and we'll make water. Like so. Water. And then finally earth. And this is all we'll need for the rituals we're going to be working on right now. We can always tap this to see how we're doing. You can see we use even just 4 speed runes really helps an altar out. All right. So we have our other tools. Let me put those. I think I have room in my magic bag. I now have a bag just for tools and a bag just for magic because it's starting to get a little bit out of control. There we go. And we'll toss the weak activation crystal in there because we won't need it for a little bit. Next, I need to sit down, hunker down, and take this here, and I got to turn this into at least what? A whole bunch of reinforced slates. So through the magic of editing, see now I could do it like this. Actually, let me show you this before I hop off. That would be one way I could do it, right? But I recommend against doing it that way. It's a little known fact that in a recent version of Blood Magic, the altars became automatable. So we can go like this, right? Now you can also draw out the bottom and some item pipes work properly, but now we can toss this in and we can do whole stacks at a time. You can see it empties out. Unfortunately, it doesn't drop a stack, so you will lose a little bit of LP, like things won't happen in quite the right order. But I still say that being able to stuff this thing full of a whole stack and then just do it all in one go is a lot better experience. All I have to do is just keep an eye on my mana, right? Which I have sort of depleted, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Fortunately, I also have another tool which I made for just such an occasion, because I really shouldn't be casting this in high magic mode. What I should be doing is using my Rod of Restoration. So we can just use this. Yes. And if I break these, they cost a gas tier, so they're not the cheapest thing in the world to make, but they're not the most expensive. So as you can see, we are now guzzling down, and we're going to need thousands of, I forget exactly how much it is, but this is a whole stack, so this is tens of thousands of LP, which is why I put the speed runes in. I won't make you watch any more of this. I'll just, I'll finish up here and then call you back when I'm done. Oh. All right, I spent fully 50 minutes just making 2 stacks of reinforced slates, which is more strictly than I need. But, you just have to kind of sit down and do that. Keep that in mind, by the way. You don't see how much work I put into... There we go. You don't see how much work I put into making these ritual stones because I cut off the tedious standing around off camera using multiple mods to make it possible to chain create these. Without ours, or at least some form of generation, you would be really hard-pressed to do that quickly. So I think we need a good 24 here, right? And then let's go ahead and clear... Well, let's see. We want a master ritual stone, right? Which goes like this. And then, of course, we need our journeyman. Or its apprentice. There we go. I think it doesn't pull it out because of MBT issues. Or do we actually need to use the journeyman? That's fine if we do. Let me just grab that. Yoink. Ow. Elevator. Okay, there we go. And dunk. There we go. A master ritual stone. I think we need one more set of these. Go ahead and pull that there. Yeah, just one more of these should do. Yeah. That should be enough, I think, for us to do what we need to do. So now we have the inks, we have a master ritual stone, we have a bunch of ritual stones, and we have some of our orbs. Before we go, what I would like to do today is make an energy blaster, which you will see has no recipe. Used to fire projectiles, damage 12, very, very strong. And then we'd also like to make a bound sword and a bound pickaxe. The bound pickaxe in particular will be very impressive soon. And to do that, what I need to do actually is make diamond versions of a couple things. We need a diamond sword. There we go. And we need a diamond pick. These are the things that we will transmute into our actual system. Ugh, God, I'm getting some lag again. It's no fun. It's weird, too, because it's like really, really specific to a couple things. So now I need to find a spot to make this. It's actually pretty big. As rituals go, all of Way of Time stuff takes a lot of space. So let's go ahead and use our Hyper Energetic Ignitor. Let's make ourselves immune to fall damage, and let's fly. You think maybe we could fit it? Nah, it's a little bit too small up here, unfortunately. How about if we were to... Well, you know what? You know what? No, I can make this work. One moment, folks, and I'll make this work. Okay, folks, as you can see here, I have taken off the top of the mountain and kind of preserved that natural ash stone that's part of the Biomes of Plenty, and I've placed at the dead center the Master Ritual Stone. The Master Ritual Stone exists at the center of every ritual and is the focal point for the ritual. From there, all we really need to do is just start placing our actual ritual stones. Now, for this one, it's a sort of a compass drawn out. 2 squares or 1 square diagonally. Basically distance 2. Like so. And then after each one of these, on each of these compass points, we place 2. Oh, wait. Basically in a line radiating out. 1, 2. I'm so bad at block placing on camera. What people don't know is that I get I'm on a pretty underpowered laptop to do this recording, so I get this very, very slight input lag. You can't see it, of course, because you don't see it, you feel it. Look at this, we have exactly enough. Perfect. Now, of course, if that's all it took, that'd be easy, but there's actually like lots of rituals that, well, I guess there's 2 rituals that could roughly take this shape. What we need to do now is ink it so that it looks correct. Now, for each one of these, we basically have to take a look at the form thread, which I have open off briefly outside the range of the camera. I just sort of look and I say, well, so at we'll call these the main lines, where there's just 2, and we'll call these the diagonals. Make sense? On the main lines, the floor includes fire. Fire. Kind of cool looking, huh? I mean, I gotta tell you, I feel like a mage. I feel incredible. Fire is then placed beneath, but in opposition to water, as if the water is suppressing it. Did it? Did it? Right? Now our main directions are set up. So now we have to do our secondaries, or our diagonals. So on each diagonal, Earth is busy suppressing air. Okay, now that's the ritual. Pretty cool, right? I think so. I mean, you definitely, also you can see how much of the inscription tool we used. We'll have to see if we can do anything about that. But it is worth noting that there's one thing that this ritual, they don't tell you in the description of it, and I highly recommend that you listen to what I'm about to say. This ritual is hyperactive. This ritual can be painful. What we want to do, let's see, if we shift right click, is we want to make sure that this ritual doesn't kill us. To that end, what I'm going to do is take a little bit of cobblestone here, and we'll make some steps here just for building, and we'll remove this in just a sec, right? But what we'd like to do, there we go, hey, I did it in the first try, is make a roof to protect us, because this ritual can hurt. This ritual can really hurt. So we're just going to be using, you'll see these should fade in just a sec. These are extra utilities magic blocks. They're pretty cool. We have to use a whole block here to stop the lightning, otherwise the lightning just comes right through. And I don't think this affects the ritual. The ritual doesn't care about this, nor does it necessarily need lightning, or need the lightning to strike anything, as far as I know. Way even advises in the forum thread, building yourself a little shelter. So we're just going to sort of do that in a way that's pretty cool. Now, the only reason I can see these is because you saw me put on those glasses earlier. Those glasses are what you use to, well, shoot. I want to break this one. Those glasses are what let you see these. If I take them off, then I can't use that. So I think that covers almost the entire internal space of the ritual. Yeah, one more row on each side. So with these magical blocks in place, I should be safe from most of the lightning harm that's going to come down. I think that's enough. We'll see in a sec. I may have to go running off, so I'm definitely going to keep some regeneration on. But it is time for us to perform our first ritual. And oh, look, at sunset. What a perfect time. Oh, Enderman with his little ender stuff. Let's go ahead and we'll remove these and put on our armor for the maximum protection we can afford. And we'll make sure that we are set to heal. Finally, we will make our bound sword first. And I'll talk about why that's important soon. Okay, activate the ritual. And you can see a puff of blood. We've done it correctly. Oh! Oh! Oof. All right. There it is, our bound blade. This thing is so cool. Let's put the fire out. Well, Sam heard that. The entire dimension here is the lightning. So I have to shift right click it, and now I have a bound blade. This blade is this blade is serious business. It is the real deal. It hits monstrously hard. It has plus 12 attack, making it one of the strongest, but not the strongest weapons in all of Resonant Rise. But it also inflicts a super powerful form of weakness, and we'll talk about why I want that later. But suffice to say that just to have it on drains LP. Not very much, but every time you swing it, you're going to use a little bit more. So it's not to be used lightly at our stage of the game. The next thing we'd like to make, let's go ahead and make sure that we're safe here. As you can see, we've used a fair sum of LP, but my network is large enough now that I can be relatively assured that I am safe. Let's go ahead and we'll make our, we're going to make next, after I munch this potato, let's make our bound pick, the more exciting of the two things. So let's just tap this once again, and then run. Whew. Yeah. Behold my ritual! Oh, it's fantastic. I gotta tell you, the first time I did this, killed me and burnt all my stuff. A bound pick. Very similar to other things. Insanely enchantable. As you can see, absurdly fast. With the Ritual of Haste. So this is, let's go over here to this speed 4 pick I have. As you can see, the speed 4 pick is a little slower than this. This thing is so fast. It's just imperceptible, but it's there. But there's one other thing it can do. We're going to go off to the corner here. You can see here a little bridge that we made, right? Let's just, you know what, let's do this over there. Right, here we are. I am going to unleash the beast. If I right-click this, I'm going to spend 10,000 LP at once and ho, 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 just decimate the landscape. Look at that. We carved out a perfect hole. Look at how far down it goes. Look at how far down it goes. Oh, man. That is so cool. That is so cool. This thing is just, it's outrageous. You know what? Before we continue, let me go somewhere where you can really see how powerful this is. One sec. All right. Let's just dig a little bit further in here. And let's go a little bit further down. Let's turn this on so even if we fall into lava, we don't care. Here we are in the darkness. And, oh, look at that. Look at what we've just done. How crazy is that? Now, my inventory can't even hold everything that we found here. But it would probably behoove me. Look at this. Ores, it immediately sucks them all in. But before you say, hey, that's crazy, I want you to take a look at this. I've only used this 3 times. Already I've lost 30,000 LP and then some. Because this thing, every time you right-click it, it does that much damage or does that much to your network. And if you don't have enough in your network, it will take it from your life and it will kill you. And also, the pickaxe drops you on the ground. So you do need to be, you know, careful about that. So why don't I get back up topside and we'll... Whoa. I may have quarried myself into a hole here. Why don't I get back up topside and we'll see what we can do about the final ritual. Okay, folks, we've got one more thing I said we'd make. By the way, all this playing around, whew, boy, am I losing LP quickly. I'll have to sit down and improve it. But now I can actually upgrade my altar and my orb. I'll show you how in a sec. Let's first make the last thing I'm really looking forward to, the energy blaster. Whoa. Look at that. This is magic. There it is. Oh, wait, there's my shield, which does nothing to stop the lightning, I might note. Ugh. So this is my energy blaster. It fires devastating projectiles and also takes LP to be turned on. Now, I need to be nighttime so I can get some monsters, don't I? Yeah, I do. How about we eat a potato and contemplate that? What could we do? If only maybe I could just edit. You know what? No, I have been sitting around editing. I'm tired of waiting. Don't always do this on a multiplayer server without asking, but this is the weak ritual crystal, and this is a lapis block. This will, this particular configuration, if I right click, will take 5k LP from me, and it will change it to night. Oof. Instantly. That's right. You can change time. It's a weak ritual. Other rituals with their weak include buffs and a couple other things. So let's go ahead and click on our energy blaster and let's bring out our bound sword. Let's just look for a few enemies. Aha, I see some creepers. Creepers, are you down here? I'll find some monsters. Look. It's a wily mage. It's a wily skeleton. It's not a mage, it's a skeleton. Pew! Pew! 14. Not bad. How about you, spider? You want some? As you can see, it throws out a kind of a shrapnel. So against stronger enemies, it'll do more. It's kind of like a shotgun. And so these guys, it does physical damage. So these guys with their osmium armor, with 10 hearts of armor, are still taking 8. Now, of course, it is pretty expensive to run. So let's go ahead and dismiss it and pull out the Bound Blade. Crunch. These guys with their high armor, you can see he's got weakness now. And when you use this particular... We can just turn this on. Love the Sigil of Elemental Affinity. We can pretty much destroy any enemy we want almost instantly. But also, what's more important is that we're getting these... You saw that little thing I picked up? Weak blood shards. Both the Energy Blaster and the Bound Blade will emit, or it will cause some enemies to randomly drop weak blood shards. Now, you need these for a variety of things. They're actually pretty important for improving your blood magic infrastructure. So between this episode and the next, because yes, I'm afraid we are reaching the wrapping up point, I'm going to finish making a full suite of bound tools. I'm going to restore my LP network and do a little bit more building on my Skylands. And I'm going to collect a whole bunch of these nifty LP things. Now, it occurs to me that I should add one task to my list before I go, and that is I need to make an experience farm, because I actually really do need... how are we doing on LP before I continue? Sorry, I can't talk and think about my LP network. We're doing fine. It occurs to me that what we really do want is we want to be able to make these tools super awesome, because all of them respect vanilla enchanting. So all sorts of improvements can be made. Boom, boom. Just by just by enchanting them. But since they're kind of expensive to make and kind of awesome, you don't want to just kind of spam enchants randomly on them. No. That would be waste. What you really want to do... God, these guys have such incredible armor. What you really want to do is you want to use books and enchant them properly. We can do a really good job of that if we have an experience farm. So I'm probably going to have to add that to the list of things to do. I have some ideas about what we can do with that, so should be fun. But thanks very much, folks, for joining me. I hope that this episode hasn't run too long for you. I hope that I've got the music volume under control. If not, let me know and we can keep tweaking it. I think it's definitely more modest than it was before. And thank you very much. I hope that you join me next time after I'm out hunting these wily zombies with my awesome sword. What, you can't hurt me? You can't hurt me. Oh, more weak blood shards. Yes, give me your blood.